morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right. So, welcome back. We're on week 7. Hopefully, not going to have any missed weeks again like I did a couple weeks ago. So, at least right now we're going strong. 2 weeks in a row again. Um Game plan for today, talk about the progress we made last week, where I left off last week, things that I did after stream, stuff that I figured out, and pushing forward, trying to continue working on some of like the authentication workflows from React and getting that set up. So last week we were getting the React native portion of the project configured and turned on, not turned on, but like active, I guess, active development. I was running into some issues last week figuring out, or I guess understanding how React and React Native will handle like context providers, making it so that my session is available within the different components, and like how I wanted to do workflows. Well, not workflows, more so like how the pages needed to be. How do I make it so that users can only see certain panels when they're authenticated? How do I force authentication? That kind of stuff. So, made quite a bit of progress last weekend and worked on it a little bit throughout this past week. So, we can kind of go through where I am and what I've been figuring out. So I've added some settings here for email. The reason why I need the email settings is the Django All-Auth app that I'm using for handling authentication and my session tokens. It will, depending on what settings I have turned on, I have email verification set to mandatory right now. So what'll happen is when a user registers, there will be a email automatically generated and sent to them with a verification key, and the user should click it to verify their email. And then once they do that, then they'll be able to log in. So that's why I've added this. This is something I need to play around with and test a little bit more. So we'll see. The headless front end URLs, these I'm not 100% sure if I've configured them correctly yet. But the point here is these are the URLs that will be included in these emails that Allauth will generate. And these should link up with React Native components that I have, either through web or through the app. So I'm not sure how I need to prefix this quite yet. But that's what these are for. So these are the URLs that will be included in links from the emails. Let's just go ahead and create this pull request. I'm still going to be editing this, so that's fine, and I can change details and whatnot. Okay, so settings. These are the core settings. So this is like our Django backend settings, just as familiarity. We're in backend core for settings here. Git ignore. This is some deletes. So one thing that I did do to like make it a little easier for myself, I guess, is React Native. I'm using Expo to like manage the package, and using Expo to help provide some nice functionality that it wraps around React Native. So one of them is like the router. It allows me to streamline development process of like what components are visible in what state and how to navigate between the different screens. So Expo provides this Expo router that helps with that, and it streamlines it a little bit, which is nice. But one thing that Expo also does is it provides you with this sample application when you start a new project. So I haven't deleted it yet, we can actually see in the actual repo, I still have this app example guy. I'm just keeping it for right now. I'll end up deleting it, but just kind of keeping it as a reference if I have anything that I would like to look for. So, what I've ended up doing is I have a main app. There's the app folder that gets generated for my app. And then I have this like app layout guy or app with the parentheses around it. Figure out how to look at the camera. So the app with the parentheses around it has like special notation in Expo. Uh, Not 100% sure on exactly how it works yet. Um, but yeah, so just trying to work through that a little bit, honestly, and understand the things. But you'll see I've added a bunch of routes and a bunch of panels. I've created this pattern here, account, and then under account, there's like forgotten password. Under account password, there's another layout. Under account password reset, it gives me this key. And that kind of, the idea there is that it should match up with these, uh, these suffixes that are here. Because those are the URLs that people need to navigate to perform those actions. So that's why the front end in our React Native side of things, there'll be these kind of patterns. Right now, they're super basic. It literally just says like forgotten password, or this one it just says reset your password. I haven't filled stuff in yet for them. They're kind of templates for right now, but just kind of show where I am on the project. What I ended up doing, where am I? So if you remember, we left off, we had this auth package or folder that I was creating that contained the all auth class, or I guess file. And so what I've been doing is adding little wrapper functions to streamline how those are going to be used and how I can use those within the other components. So you'll see like here on register, I import the register operation from allof, and then as the user performs or clicks the registered press button, it will actually send the request to the register operation, and it'll take the input fields that I provide and put them into JSON format that the Django allof library is expecting the request to come in. I also spent some time. Oh man. So as somebody who's like not a pretty person in terms of like drawing and making things aesthetically pleasing, I've spent way too much time trying to figure out styling. It's crazy. I spent a lot of time trying to figure out making like these screens look pretty to me, and I show my wife and she's like, "That's terrible. Why did you pick those colors?" I'm like, "Oh." So that's a little demoralizing. But what I've been doing is I've been building some of these little basic components that I can reuse in a bunch of places. So like I have a custom button, and the reason why I'm doing these little components is it makes it so the styling is really in like one spot. So I don't have to have styling in a ton of places. It's contained to some of these components, which makes it a lot easier. So like I have a horizontal line. I have this component that's going to be for starting a workout. It's going to be in like a home page. I have one that has text input fields. So that way for the login, for the register, any of the fields that are going to take like inputs, I wanted them to be all styled the same. I wanted them to have this like drop shadow thing that I found because I thought that looked cool. And so I created a component for that to streamline that, so I'm not having to worry about styling on a bunch of places. I did create this like global styles page, or not page, but class. And so I have the colors into two groups. Excuse me. So I have the colors in two groups, and then I created a base style sheet with all the essentially CSS, but the React Native, it's like has a little bit of a different name. I forget what it is, but it's basically a cascading style sheet. And instead of having dash separated names, they get rid of the dash and then they use the camel case here like this. So like the first word's lowercase and then the second word in on it will be capitalized. But that's how this is working. Am I using this? I don't remember. I don't think I'm using these two at the bottom, so I might be able to get rid of those. But yeah, so that's kind of where I am right now in the progress that I made. I am actually able to do quite a bit. So let's check to see where we are. So right now, let's start the app. And our Django backend is still online. Perfect. Oh, another thing I did figure out over the weekend is I actually can open the iOS simulator now, so you can actually see on the device what it's going to look like instead of having to pull it up on the web browser. So this will be a little bit nicer. So this is what we have so far. So I have a little sign in button, little sign in form. Can go back, can do a little register, gives you a little register form. So if I do a sign in, I have like a forgotten password as well, which is cool. So we'll go to sign in and then we'll do my email, password. I can do login. Perfect. So one other thing that I did, so like right now it's obviously very basic. Hey, I logged in. I had debug statements on here to show like the username and the session token that I was getting from Django all off. But I deleted those to kind of didn't need to see them for right now. So one other thing that I have done is you'll see at the bottom I have these little tabs, which is pretty nice. So I have like a home, a schedule, and a profile. So schedule doesn't have anything. It literally just says temporary. Profile doesn't have anything. It has a logout button. So I can click this and it'll reset me back to the sign in or the register and I can go. So let's log back in. Perfect. Perfect. So to kind of show, I guess, what I've figured out, or at least I'd like to think that I figured out. So we're in our front end project here. So what I've done, so each of these layouts are like, the layouts kind of are like your inits in Python packages and for React Native. And so what you can do is you kind of describe what everything in here and how it should work, I guess. So by default, what'll happen is when my app gets loaded, it'll look into these different like this layout. It'll say, oh, we want to load the tabs package, I guess, and see what it says. So it's going to come in here. It's going to look at the tabs layout. Oh, this layout, it says we're going to try to use the session and we're going to do the color scheme. We're going to do loading, whatever, when we're trying to pull the session data from the secure store. And if I don't have a session, it's going to actually redirect me to the welcome URL, which is defined here. So what'll happen is we'll come back to this guy, our welcome screen. I guess I can start cleaning up some of this stuff. There shouldn't be any of this stuff on this page. So let's delete some of these imports that we're not going to use. It's always good to kind of clean up your imports and things if you're not using stuff to make it a little bit nicer. So my welcome, it's going to come in here. And like I said, I've defined some some styles in this base styles container or base styles style sheet that I showed. And so essentially what I do is I'm like, okay, I'm going to use that as my starting point, and then essentially any colors that I care about, I'm going to specify them in the component with using the color scheme. So React Native has this, or I guess, is it a React Native? Yeah. So React Native has this use color scheme hook that's nice. It gives you information if the user is using light mode or dark mode, and that way you can make your components reactive to whatever their choices are. So like here, I have it on light mode right now. If I come here, do this, go to the developer in settings, do dark mode, do app switcher back, my component automatically adjusts all the colors that I'm using based on if they're dark or light mode, which is great. It's perfect. It's really nice. It's super responsive. And it makes it cool so that way, like, I don't have to. It makes it so my app is a little bit more user friendly. Because I know personally I use dark mode for most stuff because, light mode burn my eyes out, whatever that programmers always say. Um, so like it's nice being able to come in here and switch it and test to see how it looks in either version. Um, and I get that kind of feedback because there's nothing worse than having an app that's all bright white like this, and if you're not used to it, or it's nighttime or whatever, and your phone's automatically switched to like the dark setting, nighttime setting, that I'm opening up a screen and it's super bright, and now I'm like caught off guard. So having an app that is responsive like that and adjusts accordingly, I think is a cool feature. So that's kind of the pattern that I've been doing is I use the base styles and then apply the colors that I want in the component. So you'll see that kind of going on. Perfect. So what'll happen is, like I said, so the tabs layout will come in. It'll say, hey, you don't have an active session. You basically don't have access to this portion of the app. Anything under tabs, I don't have access to because it requires an active session to be able to see these routes. So it takes me back to this guy, and now I get all the stuff that's outside of tabs. So I get welcome and anything under account. And what I've done is I've tried to model my account routes based on some of the naming conventions of routes that the Django All-Auth uses. So I have like a basic sign up page. It just takes an email, or no, this is sign in, I'm sorry. It just takes an email, password, and I also have a little button for if you've forgotten your password, like we saw. And what I'm doing here this is actually kind of interesting that I figured out. Excuse me. So what I'm doing is I'm using the context. So if we look up here, my auth context has a use session hook. And actually, let's look over here. So we have a couple operations. So our context app has a sign in, a sign out, and then it also will give us the session if there is one, and then it'll tell us if it's loading. So the loading is kind of just an indicator that we're pulling it from the secure storage that we're using. So that way we're responsive when to show like a loading screen in that scenario. But this session is going to give us our username, and it will give us our session token that was provided to us by the backend. And then the sign in, sign out kind of just give us a nice little hook to set those attributes. So when we do sign in, we're going to actually update the secure storage with our token and our username, which is perfect. And then sign out, we're actually going to go through and we will we'll clear out the session. We clear out the here it is. We set session to null, so it'll clear out the secure the secure storage and make it so that there's nothing to load from secure storage. But the interesting thing that I found, whoops, I lost it. The one thing that I found interesting and I was having a little hard time figuring out is this part. So we talked about, sorry, get rid of this guy, not using it. But we see here I'm using the Expo router as my method of moving between the panels with links and redirects and stuff. So what I'm doing here is, because I have like a hidden set of routes in the tabs, what I want to have happen is after the person has signed in, they should have access to the tabs portion of the app again, or should now have access to the tabs portion of the app. So by using this router.replace, I'm telling it to go back to the very base of our app, which is this layout.tsx, the layout file, and it's going to try to recheck if tabs is available to us or not now. So that's when it's going to do the same thing we saw at the beginning. It'll come in here and it'll be like, oh, it'll use the session. It's going to see here that we actually have an active session. And so it's going to start loading the tabs screens instead of the stack one that we were using before for the unauthenticated view. So hopefully that makes sense. So essentially, here, let's kind of go here. So we'll sign in again. So what'll happen, oops, gotta type it right. We're gonna sign in. When I click this button, we're gonna send the request to Django Allauth. Django Allauth will validate the data. It'll send us back a 200 response, which is a HTTP good response. In the response, we'll have a session token, and we will have a username associated with that token. We're going to store those in local memory within the app, and then we will redirect redirect back to this route, which will then check, oh, do you have a session? We should now, and it'll send us to the tabs page. Excuse me, I don't know why I'm coughing so much. Cool. So see, now we're at the tabs, which is a completely different little route that we have, and we can click on all these guys. Perfect. So that's kind of what I have been working on, other than spending way too many hours playing with colors. So if you haven't ever used it, this is like probably the coolest website to use for designing storyboards or apps or layouts or anything. This is called Figma. This is a tool that I learned about when I worked at Shopify. They use this a lot for storyboarding, drawing up wireframes for different pages, and it's great. And so you'll see I have 4 different versions of the dark color scheme that I was playing with, and I have three versions of the light color scheme that I've been playing around with. But pretty much what I've been doing is like I defined, so I have these little groups. So I have dark mockups, which is all this stuff, and then I have light mockups, which is all this stuff. And so what I'm doing is I have this like basic template, and what I do is whenever I want to make a new page, kind of just grab maybe the template, or I'll grab one of the other ones that I like. Hey, how's it going? And so I'll grab one of the ones that's similar, and then I just kind of copy and paste it, put it into their appropriate panel. I don't want to be in that group. Set its own level, and we'll just move it there. So now I can do like, so I have a home here. Let's move these. I like them in order. I'm weird about it. I can rename this to maybe I don't know, start a workout. And then it gives me these nice little blobs, and I can lock them, I can hide them, whatever, as I'm working, so that way I can kind of get a feel for the how the app is gonna work and how it's gonna feel, um, without me having to like tweak everything one at a time. This is a lot faster and a lot easier to do these wireframes than it is to actually code it. And then the nice thing too is once I have like a screen put into Figma and like it looks kind of how I want it, I can very easily take these and put them into code, no problem. So Risk, this is called Figma. This is a it's a tool, it's a website that you can go to. It's awesome. I love it. It's super good for building wireframes for anything. Honestly, it can be for UIs, it could be for pictures. I haven't done it 100%, but I can even set it up so like clicking these buttons in here will actually direct me to other components on the page. So there's a way you can make it interactive, which is really cool, to click through to different components. So like if I click this, it will give me the like I can have it set up to redirect to like the login page or whatever, which is really cool. I haven't set it up on this yet because I've just been really caring about how it looks, more so than the actual functionality. But that is a feature that it does use or does provide. Uh, so another thing that I've been using too that's really cool is this guy. So if you notice over here on Figma, I have these little boxes with kind of the color palettes and the options that I'm doing. I got initial ideas from other places, but what I've been doing is come in here and I'm like, oh, I don't like pumpkin anymore. So this is, I think, the dark color one. So what I can do is I can lock these, whichever ones I like, and I can just sit here and like spend a stupid amount of time tweaking the colors and figure out which ones I like, which ones I don't like. And what's cool is I can take these, I can grab this, maybe I like that color, I can come over here and maybe I don't like this anymore. I can just paste that value directly into here and I can instantly see how it changes the look of the pages, which is cool. It's really nice. It makes it really easy. One thing that I did do is I set up these like local styles and I put all the color styles in here. And then so if I actually come to these components, let's click on one. Click on like this guy. You can see that the fill color is actually associated with that label that I did. So that way it'll automatically update as those values change, which is great. One second. Perfect. Yeah, so this Coolers website, it's free. I have an account I think. But it's pretty easy to use. But man, you can go down a rabbit hole of like sitting here hitting space for like hours. It's insane. And what's nice is right now I'm only showing 4 colors. I think there's a way to add it to add yeah, there where'd it go? I can click here and it'll add more colors to my palette if I want. But for this project, I'm really trying to keep it to like 4, maybe 5 colors just to streamline it so that way I don't go too crazy. So let's see. That's kind of where I am, and honestly, what I've been spending probably too much time on, especially since my wife tells me that the colors that I like look terrible. So the big thing that I'm trying to work on right now is doing the sign up workflow. The user story I'm working under is this guy. So I'm trying trying to finish that up. I know I these UI things, I don't know what it is, but it makes me feel like I have ADD because I'll start on one and I'm like, oh, this would be cool. Let me go draw up a wireframe for this other thing. Oh, that's really cool. Let me go change the color on this thing. I don't like how it looks on this one. I'm like, yeah, I started trying to do a sign up workflow and now I have like password pages. I have verify email pages. I'm like, that wasn't the intention where I was supposed to be going. And I'm not like that with back end code stuff, but for whatever reason with front end stuff, it's ADD kicks in and I'm just like, ooh, squirrel. Gotta go down this other path that I probably shouldn't be on. But here we are. Oh no, not the sign in. I'm silly. This one works. I'm trying to do the sign up, which is the same as the word register. So the issue I was having, what's today? Today's Friday. I was having the other day is, let's look. So I have this open. Where is the custom button sign up page? The button to go to the custom buttons here. So wait, where are we? So on welcome, we have a custom button that that goes to register. And register takes us to that under accounts. So accounts register. Does that make sense, Burke? So the issue I was having when I was messing around with this like last night, I kept getting an issue where it was trying to send me an email or it was trying to look at these headless front end URLs and it kept freaking out at me. The back end was throwing an error. Oh, so Burke, the reason why I have an issue is that custom button expects a couple extra parameters passed to it explicitly, so we can actually look. So button right now takes the text to display on the button, the on press event, and if the button should be disabled. Yeah, so the issue is that this link guy, it has this option of passing called as child. And so if you use the as child, it will, this link object essentially passes in the on pressed operation or function to the children components, if that makes sense. So I guess because I'm not explicitly stating the functions to this guy, it doesn't like that and gets angry with me. So I'm not sure how to fix that yet, but that's kind of where I am. So let's actually come in here. Let's try to doesn't that button have... Oh, so the link is a special operation. This is provided to me by the Expo router, and that's how I can navigate to the different pages. So instead of having like another like sign in pressed here or whatever, right, and passing that as the operation, I'm just using the link. It's a little bit I could do that. I could have a router dot like navigate type thing, but from what I was reading, the preferred method is to really use these links and let them kind of handle it. So I'm not sure. It works right now, so we'll see what happens, honestly. And what I end up, if I change it or not. Yeah, what was it? Let me see. Dude, I have so many tabs open, it's insane. So I have that whole window, and then I have this whole window. And you'll see I have all of the, I actually was doing like a bunch of trying to understanding how like how you should be navigating, because this is all new to me. So there's like navigation patterns, and I've been reading through this whole thing. So let's look. Link. Is it this guy? Oh, that's where this comes from. So I was actually trying to figure that out too. That's interesting. The My App guy, that's the, I was trying to understand how that works, but that's not what I'm looking for right now. Expo, router, link. Is this what I want? This guy. Yeah, so see, the link provides us as child. So as long as the children take a on press, note that child must accept on press or on click properties. So it handles it for me. But I'll have to look some more. Okay, so let's come here. Do I want, I think I want to delete this, because I want to test to see if, wonder what's going to happen. Delete. Okay. So I still have my user. Perfect. Is there anything else in here? I have these sessions. Let's clear out these test sessions. Boom. Deleted. Email addresses, users, groups. Okay. So what I want to try to do is I want to try to, excuse me, I want to register with my email and see if I get the email that I'm expecting. Test user. Test password 1. Boom. What happened? Let's look here. Okay, so we got a 401 back, which I think is okay. Ah, my phone vibrated. I felt it in my pocket. Sweet. Let's see. Is there a way I can pop this email out? Yes. Cool. So we see here, like, I got the email. So that's perfect. This is another project that I was doing, so I'm just using their domain for right now. But that's sick. I was able to get that. So we should actually be able to navigate to the verify. Oh, so Risk. I'm trying to use Risk Jackson asked, are you making a website or like a phone app? So the platform that I'm using is called React Native. It's a variation on React, and it's cool because it allows you to build mobile apps and websites simultaneously. So what I'm doing right now is I really care about this app being more of this project being more of a mobile app. So I'm focusing more on the mobile screens, which is why I'm using the iPhone simulator here. But I'm going to be able to actually have this on a browser as well. So do I have it open? I do. So you can see here, like I have a version of it and it loads in a web browser as well. It looks terrible. Oh, because I moved this under account. So let's just do that. So it looks terrible right now because it's designed to be on mobile, but React Native is really nice. I can actually provide different web pages. I can give them like a specific endpoint. Where is it? Specific naming conventions. So if I have web.tsx, I can, or welcome.tsx, I could make another one and call it welcome.web.tsx. And now what'll happen is anytime my app, anybody that navigates to my project in a web browser, they'll be given this web TSX instead of the default one, which will be for the like mobile apps. So React Native is really cool in that way that like I can build for Android and iOS simultaneously, and I can build for web and support its bigger screens as well. No problem. So yeah, this kind of looks terrible right now, which is fine because it's like rendering tiny screen stuff on this big screen. But I should. Okay, so we saw here. I got this email, so I should be able to like take this, and we're gonna cheat the system a little bit. That's annoying. I don't know why it's doing that. We're gonna cheat the system a little bit. We're gonna come here, and we're gonna do. We're gonna call this one test verify. That's fine. And we're gonna call this under account verify email, and we just have a key. So let's grab that key from our email again. Paste that here, save. So now we have a test verify. That happened. It took us here. Oh, I'm silly. There's kind of a big step that I have to do with doing this, but that's fine. So what we need, what I need to have happen is when they navigate to this verify page, we need to make a call to the Django all-auth to actually send the verify email message to the backend, so that way they can update their database. So let's look here. We do have a verify email guy that we made. So let's come here. We'll do import, and we'll do verify email. That looks terrible. I don't like that. Oh man. I feel like I should. I'm gonna do it like this actually, because I want to make them follow the other conventions, I guess, that I'm used to. I wish my little helper bar thingy would go back to my other screen. That's fine. Okay, so we're in verify email. We want to do all these things popping up. Did I not configure prettier for formatting? Probably not. I know for the Python stuff, for the backend files, we set it up to use the auto formatter, the black formatter. But for anything like TSX or JavaScript, I haven't set anything up in the project for that yet. So we want to import the use state guy, and I think we want to do use state. Oh no, I want to do this guy, do that, and we want to do this. I believe that's correct. Is that not right? Did I do this wrong? I'm so bad at. I thought this looks right. What did I do wrong? Why is it yelling at me? Is it because I don't have a thing here? That's fine. Yeah, we want to track just like we want it to run on the initial load of this page. Because essentially what I want to have happen is... How did I do this? My brain's like kind of all over the place. Let me see. So let's put this here so we can look at it. Okay, yeah. We also want. Oh, I'm silly. I wrote use state instead of use effect. That's why. Whew. Okay, so now I want to do. Actually, let's just copy and paste this. That's what I want. Okay, so the effect. So essentially, we want the effect to happen is. We want. Where's our operation? So we want to do this. So we want to do response. Where am I? Const response equals verify email, and we want to look to see what that message should look like. And I believe I have it open somewhere here. This guy. Perfect. So if you're not aware, this is actually a cool feature. Django Auth provides these like open API specification URLs that you can look at to see the formats of the messages, the parameters, and also the sample responses, which is great. So this one, verify email, it just wants so I need to pass it the X session token. Only needed when client is equal to app. So that's what we're going to be on the app, so I need to do that. And we need to pass path. Okay, so I have to provide client, I have to provide the X session, and I have to provide the key. Okay, so that's fine. So what we'll do is it safe to use the same name state as the variable in use effect? Oh. This one's local, right? Because then what I'm going to do is use a set response in here. And so it will, anything, I don't care about using this guy inside of this, if that makes sense. The scope for this variable is different than the scope for this one. So let's do a set response. Actually, we want to do fetching false and content response fetching. Did I do that right? What am I doing wrong? Oh, I need to do an await. Oops. There. So we're going to run into an issue where how can we, there's a pattern in here, I know. I thought it was to call. Can I do async here? I don't feel like I can. There's a pattern. I'll need to look it up to figure out how to do that. I need to be able to asynchronously when this page loads, call that. Do it inside arrow maybe. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what that means. True, and we want null. So we're gonna figure it out in a second. So we actually need to go over to this guy. So verify email, we actually need to pass it a token. So we actually need to come in here and we need to go to token, and it's going to be a string, and it'll be token. So we also need to use our use session guy, but we don't want the sign in. We want the session. Oh, I didn't import use session. That's why. Import use session. Boom. So you're saying if I do... There's this... I thought it was use effect. There is a pattern for React with React load... what is it called? Oh, man. HTTP request on load of component. There's a pattern. I swear I thought it was the use effect. Ah. So you were right. I need to do an arrow function inside of it, which is like this. I see. I think that's kind of what you were talking about. So I need to do oh god. Const send request. Whatever. What is it? Oh man. Equals async. That thing equals. Oh my god. Oh. There. Whew. And then we just put a semicolon. And then now I can just do what I usually do, right? And then they just call it. Okay. So yeah. So I want to do this, do that. And then we want to also pass something else. Perfect. So what we'll do... Why is this yelling? Why is this mad at me? Yes. So in Twitch, somebody made a good they said exactly what we were looking for. So I essentially want to do now like send request here, right? If I spell request right. Request. But why is this mad? Oh, you're incisive. That's you. Yeah. So I think we're good now, but I'm not sure why this is upset. Fetching is not assignable to type Boolean. Do I not have the same thing? Like, literally right here? Fetching, true. Content, null. Do our thing. Fetching, false. Content, response. Okay, whatever. We'll see what happens. So that should... Oh, we need to do... We need to do... Oh, man. My Apple Watch is dead. Plug that in. So actually, let's look here. How was I... Oh, man. Oh, no. There's like... I got rid of the... Oops, not what I wanted to do. Okay, yeah. So I did decoded. Okay. So if I do something like this guy, not like that guy, do like that, we should be able to hopefully make it actually look right. And we want to do, we'll put this in here because that's important. We don't need this. We'll do const, and we should be able to do decoded dot we need to go here, go to this guy, and grab the name of the username. Or no, we want token. Whoops. Token. So now we're going to send a verify email, and we're going to pass our token into the header. And we also need to finish setting up our request. Whoops, wrong thing. We need this guy, and it takes a key, and it should be key. Do I need? I don't think I need the extra thingies. I think that works, right? And we'll just print the response for it, or not print. That's the wrong word. Console.log response. So let's double check. So we're going to use effect. It's going to happen once on the state loading. We have written an async function within it. We're going to call set response where we're fetching first. Let's actually put something at the bottom. Do we want to put something at the bottom? Yeah, that's fine. So we're going to set it to true that we're currently fetching. It's going to set the content to null. Then we're going to set the response again after we send the request. We're no longer fetching, and the content is the response. Okay, so if we come back to this guy, let's go to that. CSRF token missing. It tried to hit the all-auth browser. Verify. Oh. I think we know why. Because we forgot this guy. We forgot to do this. We can do this in here because we only need it for the scope of this. I got too many windows open already. So, oops. Sign in. Where is platform coming from? It's a React Native guy. So, platform, not platform. And we need the client from allauth. So we need a client. And setup. There. So now we're setting up the client that we're going to use. So now, if we go back to this guy, we should be able to do test. Did it work? I don't know if it worked. Doesn't look like it called it. We're getting some kind of error. Property client doesn't exist. Did I save? Oh, I might need to restart the app because it's like one of those weird errors. So let's do I. Okay, go away. Why is it still function component? Oh, did it come in? Hmm. So why is it not? So let's add some logging here. Making request. We're gonna do a console.log inside use effect. And what we'll do is we'll do actually a text here to do response dot fetching. So we should be able to see like when it changes, I would think. Inside use effect making request. But we're not seeing anything hit this. That's interesting. Did we mess up something over here? Let's do a print, not print, console.log decoded.token. See if that helps. Restart. Making request. Oh. Let's do else. Oh, I know. So do we know what the issue is? I figured it out. The issue is that I'm not currently logged in. So when I did the register, what happened? Here's what happened. I signed up, I registered, but I didn't store the session information in the secure store. So that way I didn't actually have any session to get to it. So actually, this page is in the wrong spot. Or actually, so currently it's in the like unauthenticated portion of the app, but it needs to be in the authenticated portion. But then I don't want to have like a bunch of extra folders. Because right now, where this is located. Oh wait, no, I'm still fine because the whole app has access to the session provider. So everything has access to session provider, which is fine. Okay, but the issue that I ended up messing up for myself is I actually need to move this. So let's do this. We're gonna boop. We're gonna get rid of that. We're going to put it on our index page here. Do we have import custom button? And we also want to import link there. So now I'm going to be in the authenticated portion of the app. I'll be able to log in and I'll be able to get to this button. So let's actually, so two things we need to do to fix this problem. First, close all this stuff. I end up having a bajillion tabs open. So first thing, what we needed to do was after... first thing I actually want to do. First thing I actually need to do is... Okay, so passwords match is already a thing that I'm doing. Is it just or? Can I just do that? Is that a thing? Oh, it's double pipe. Got it. So I want to disable the register button if the passwords don't match. Pretty straight. First thing I want to do, fix while I was thinking about it. Next thing I need to do is handle this guy. So what happened, we registered, we got that 4018 response somewhere, like a bajillion button clicks ago. Maybe. The client doesn't exist. We'll start over. I don't want to go find it. So let's refresh this guy. We should see an email and we should see a second user. So this is my actual admin user because we can see that it has staff access. We'll go ahead and delete that. This guy. Easy. Email addresses, nothing. Okay. So the big thing we need to figure out. Oh, so this didn't respond with a 200 if I remember correct. This responded with a 401. And I'm not sure, I don't remember why, what the difference was. So let's come here, do this. So what is this going to return me, a 401? Oh, it's probably going to give me this pending validate email. Huh. Okay. So let's mess around with this a little more. So let's come here. Let's do register again. Put in my email guy. Can't click that. Perfect. Oh no, now I can't. Wait, did it? Yeah, see, I got... Oh, but I did get a session token. Okay, so this is perfect. And I got the email. I just felt it go off in my pocket again. Cool. So, what we care about... Let's actually do this, because I have the worst time figuring out what level things are on with JSON if I'm looking at it from that kind of file. Close that guy. So this is all under data, is that right? And this is under the metadata session. Okay. Wait. Oh, okay, so that's at that level. Where is this guy's closing bracket? Oh. Whoops. Didn't even see that. Okay, so metadata is... So it's data, metadata, session token is what I care about in the status flag. Okay. So let's move this down here so I can look at it. So let's do if response dot data dot status triple equal 401. This is the expected status response. And so we want to do sign in. We want to do sign in, and we will do, let's look at this guy just as an example so that way I don't lose my mind remembering what I should be doing. So we'll do sign in response dot meta dot session token, and we will do username. Boom. So I think that fixes our issue. I think now when we register, we'll create a session, and then we should be able to navigate to our key page. So let's reset, register. Actually, I gotta come here, do that. Users, delete this guy. Yes. Email addresses should go away. Perfect. Come back here. Register email. Whoop. Test user. Do test password 1. Test password 1. Okay. So the problem we had, I forgot to add the stupid router.replace at the end. Register. We wanted that. Dang. Did I don't have do I have this imported? I do. Do I need link? Don't need link. Just get rid of that. You start migrating vertical tabs in workspaces. Can you elaborate? I'm not sure what you mean. Let's go this guy. Let's click register again. Oh, like the tabs would be on the side? Oh, dude, I got so many windows. It's insane. Dang it. Why is this? Did I need a restart? Shoot. What did I do wrong? I've never seen tabs on the side. Is that like a setting? Can I do that? Tab groups. I know about that. Settings? No. Appearance. Oh, does that not a Chrome thing? Honestly, I only use Chrome on my MacBook now. I stopped using it on my desktop. Let's try one more time. Let's do this. We'll close this app here and relaunch it. Okay, let's do register. Let's have our logs open over here too. So let's do my email one more time, because just for good measure. Oops. Why did this not? What am I doing wrong? Am I getting into this? Console.log. Can't tell if I'm like getting if the issue is the status? Response data status. That was, I thought, the response data. Oh, I'm so silly. I am. Oh my gosh. Sometimes I'm like, my brain's not thinking. Sorry. So like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, what the heck? I wasn't thinking that about flows is the only thing that's associated with data. Yeah, my levels, because of the way I had it tabbed or whatever to make my brain understand JSON, it was not tabbed properly. Okay, so this should be fine. So status is a 401. We're gonna check. We're gonna grab the session details. Let's go back here one more time. Make sure I'm not losing my marbles. Okay. Cool. Hit it. Boom. Perfect. So we navigated, we stored the session. I should be getting an email any moment. I did. Let's grab the key that they gave me and let's go to this guy. Put that there. Okay, so now this verify test verify should navigate me to that. And we see it. We got a verification thingy back. Awesome. So now I should be able to refresh here and I should be able to click this guy and not there, not that thing. This guy. Yeah. We see that it has a verified status. Awesome. So it works how I expect now. So if the user, when the user registers, they're gonna get their session details back in the response from the server. The session details will get stored in the secure storage. They'll get redirected back to the base page, which will then check to see if they have a session. It'll route them to the view that they want, if they're authenticated, which they should be, and then they'll be able to click that verify for their static thing right now. Sweet. The big problem that I need to figure out is How the heck do I get it so that like I can click it and it'll open the app? That's what I'm not sure on. Hmm. That'll be fine if I actually. What I could do is just have, if I just have a web page, web version of this page, it'll always be accessible. It'll be, they just go to it, but then they're not going to be logged in. There's so many things to consider, so many things to think about. The other thing I could do, honestly, for simplicity's sake, is, well, I hate that idea. I could, like, the easiest thing I could do is just give like a verify email view. They copy and paste the key in and click verify. That workflow, terrible, not great, but it would work. But the fact that I got this working, that makes me feel better. So let's get rid of this, get rid of this. Okay, so we're at least able to register, we're able to log in, and we're sort of able to verify our email right now. We need to have at some point some kind of password, so I have a password forgotten workflow. Let's actually check to see how that works. So let's click log out, sign in, do forgotten password, and we'll do our email. I don't know what happens. Oops, that's not the email. So I potentially should get an email here in a second. Maybe. Maybe not. Oh, I guess it helps if we look over here. Oh. This isn't doing anything. It literally says do something. It's hard for it to send an email if I don't actually have it do anything. We don't need this guy. We need forgotten password. Don't need this guy. So wait, let's double check our thing here. We want request password. It's just an email is all it takes. Perfect. And we've provided that as a thingy. So go here. As an example, as always, I'm not one to try to remember what the heck I need to remember. So let's do this, do that. We're gonna copy this because it's easier. Wait, should I get what kind of status responses should I get? A 200? Okay. So let's do this. Actually, we're gonna copy this whole thing. And we're gonna call forgotten password, and we're just gonna pass the email and do that. We do need this guy. Oh wait, I already have it. How silly. Router is part of So now we set up our client and we're setting up the response. I wonder if I should set this up somewhere else. Should I set this part up in like the top level thing so then I don't have to worry about it ever again? I wonder if that would work. Let's try. Let's do this again. Sick. It said the thing. This happened. And I got a password reset email. Awesome. Here, I will be right back. Thank you. All right. Cool. So the password reset worked. Let me, can I pop that up? Yeah. So see here we got the email. Now, interestingly, this gave me something way different. It actually has like the prefix, whereas the other email just had the code. Please enter it in your open window browser. Ah. So I think what I need to do for this workflow is instead, I need to do what it's saying. The workflow should be when they register. So register should route me to the verify email page. But no, it shouldn't be. It should be verify email, but there shouldn't be a key. It should just be an index. And then they have to put it into a field. Yeah, that's exactly what the workflow is supposed to be, and that's what it's saying basically, based off of what it's telling me. Which kind of sucks, in the sense that like, it's unfortunate. But that's how it's gonna. That's what it's generating for me. So let's rename this to. Where's my thingy? Rename. Do index. So index will be the top level thing that gets displayed. This guy. We're gonna get rid of this. We're gonna go to register, and register should redirect to, where is it? I need to come here. I need to go to this guy because this has a redirect example. See, so I want to redirect. So we're gonna sign in, and then we're gonna redirect. Where does the redirect come from? Expo router. Redirect, and we're gonna go to, what is it? Account verify email. There. And so there, in the verify email page index, which is this guy. Is it this guy? Not this guy. In this guy, we're not going to have this anymore. Get rid of that. We still have the client. We're going to use const key set key equals use state, and it'll be an empty string. We are going to import input box. What the heck did I call this? Jeez Louise. Text input field. We're going to get rid of that. We'll do text input field. What are the operation or parameters this guy takes? Input mode, text. Oops. Input mode. What are the other parameters? On change text will be set key, and wait, what did I do? What the heck? My goodness. What am I doing wrong? I've already forgotten how to do like anything that I'm doing. I don't need that. I need this. Split right. This goes with like, I just need more experience doing this kind of thing because I just haven't done enough JavaScript type work to really retain any of this stuff, honestly. On change text, default value needs to be key. Secure text entry equals false. Input mode equals text. Header equals key from or code from email. So I see like generative AI would save you, but I would see you're not even copying and pasting. I think there's some value to using like ChatGPT, DeepSeek, Gemini, whatever. I think there is value to those, and it is helpful getting started. I like to use them more as like a colleague that I'm bouncing ideas off of. And what I mean by that is I say, hey, here's like the kind of scenario that I'm working on. This is the situation. Sorry, my dog heard something. Here's kind of the thing that I'm thinking about. This is what I'm trying to do. Here are the things that I've considered. And then I ask it those type of questions. Like, hey, what would your opinion be? To get kind of, it helps me think of constructive patterns like that. So that's how I kind of like to use it. The heck. But it can be good. It's great, but like I don't want to be so dependent that I'm not able to figure stuff out. And that's kind of why I like to still do my research, like read through stuff. Because honestly, part of it is I don't have access to that stuff at work right now. The job that I do right now doesn't allow me to have access to some of those tools. And so if I lose my ability to constructively figure out how to solve a problem or like where to find the resources and stuff, I'm basically useless. Unfortunately. So that's kind of where I am and why I do some of the stuff the way that I do it is I still want to be able to learn and figure it out on my own. Because I think these are skills that I'm going to want to use. Whereas if I just do like the easy button with using ChatGPT on some of it, yeah, it'll make it so I'm going faster, but I also feel like I'm not learning as much. So let's close this. Close this. Where am I? So need to figure out that. That's annoying. Let's sign in. Oh, so we were. So let's actually go here first. Oh, because I already verified it. I'm silly. I wonder if I should allow people to be logged in or log in without being verified, and then I think I'll get a response back from the server saying, hey, your password isn't verified or whatever. So like, hey, go ahead and fix that. Or it'll tell me to verify it. And if I get that verified, then I should route them to that verify page, I think. So wait, where are we? So we're under verify email. Let's get rid of this block. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Wait, what did I do? Oh, wait. Why is this upset now? Shoot. Oh, I'm silly. I got rid of that curly bracket. Whoops. I was like, that looks valid. That explains why it also indented. Oh. Let's do this var. Yeah, it's because this is I like you talked about. I think by having me by having it be the same name, it's causing some confusion in terms of what's being used in certain places. But I don't know. Undefined. Oh, we'll do this. Whatever. Do that. That's fine. I don't know why it was giving me an issue with it here, but it wasn't on the other one. Okay. Should I? Content is this guy, which is just a value within the state, which is a dictionary. So I have two keys, fetching and content. So this should be like whatever, but it didn't like me trying to set it. I don't know. That's fine. It doesn't matter. So I'm just going to set it to a default of empty string. And then when I'm fetching, it's going to be empty string, and then we'll verify. So verify email is going to be this kind of page. Let's actually go in here and we'll delete our user one more time. And we'll delete the sessions. Perfect. So let's come here. Let's register. Oops. Oops. It helps if I pay attention to what I'm typing. Test. Okay, so what should happen when I register, click register, we should redirect to the verify email page with a text box. It did not. But I got an email for signing up. So what did we do wrong? Where are we? Register. Oh, I'm so dumb. I forgot to delete delete the that redirect. I thought I had done that. Delete that. Oh man, that is the only downside to doing these kind of like UI things, is sometimes it's annoying to have to iterate through each step again. Did not. Why didn't it redirect? So do I need to do a push like I was doing? So this is doing a replace. So I wonder if I need to do a replace. And I think I need to do account.verify email. Nope. That's annoying. Try that again. Let's do page could not be found. You should navigate, right, not render a page. Oh, I see the issue. Yeah, I think you're correct. I need to navigate. But you see here, the issue is that it still thinks that the verify email, the page is a key. So what I need to do is close the app, and I need to come down here and do a fresh build because it's storing it stored the routing or whatever from before. So let's do that while it's doing its thing. Let's clear this guy out one more time. Let's log out, register. You know, like the 20th time is the charm. Sweet. So now I should be able to show that I got a new email. Perfect. But I have no button here, so I'm a dum-dum and forgot to come here. Wait, you said so in the terminal I should be able to click R? Ah, I didn't realize that. Okay, that's cool. That'll make it so I don't have to close and open debugger, reload app, toggle menu. Okay, that is helpful. So from here, we want to come here. We'll just grab this thing, do this, do this, do that. We will. Oh, I don't want this on an effect anymore. So I can get rid of all of this. Cool. Function. Verify email pressed. And we'll get rid of all that. Boom. Wait, why is color scheme now? Oh, no. Oh. There. So we want to do verify email pressed. Verify email. Get rid of this guy. Shoot. Import my custom button. And Let's do an R. Let's do log out. Go here. I think we got it this time. Delete, 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 delete. Got that. Got this. Register. My email's gonna have a bajillion emails in it when I get off of here. Oh, I messed up the passwords. No. There. So let's register. Perfect. So I should be able to come to the email. Awesome. I see the code. It just came in. Should be able to paste it there. Verify email. We see app v1 auth email verify got called, and we should be able to come in here and see it was verified. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. The only issue that I could see right now with this workflow is if the user navigates away or closes the app before they verify the email, how do they get to that page to input their verified email? So I'll need to brainstorm that, because that's potentially problematic. Awesome. I think that's kind of where I'm going to wrap up for today. I think we made good progress, kind of covering where I was, working through the authentication stuff. Made good progress on it. Honestly, like I'm feeling pretty good about it, and I'm feeling like this is a good workflow. Hopefully everybody has some good weekends plans. I know I'm gonna hang out, play some Monster Hunter that came out today, Monster Hunter Wilds that came out today. Go pick up my son from school, and then just kind of chill. But hope everybody has a good weekend, and I plan on being back next week, next Friday. Yeah, hope everybody has a good weekend, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.